Good morning, this is totally random.
Featuring Franz Maruna and Andrew Embler.
Hello! Welcome to Totally Random on this fine day. It's September 7th?
Yes.
Yeah, and 2012. I'm Franz, this is Andy. This is your frequent news show on concrete5, the community and the exciting world it is to be a fastest growing open source CMS. Here we are to talk about ourselves and answer your questions. News this week, pretty light, although exciting, that we've released the point release on 5.6. So 5.6.01 is out there in the wild.
Yes, we pulled the trigger on the automatic updater, so we're already seeing a flurry of questions and things like that come in.
Yeah, so all of the various ways you can upgrade your site, the softaculists and scripulous, techno thingies, and the stuff, all the Windows web gallery.
Yeah,
there's a list of like a dozen of these things you got to do.
Time, but it is the processes in their core.
All being updated.
Yes.
So 5.6.01 is official and stable and happy, and should make your world a wonderful place, especially if you're always wondering how to do more advanced permission type stuff. I think that's all the news that we have this week. Not a lot has happened since last week. So let's forge right in and do some Karma stuff.
Come on down.
All right. Did we have some winners?
We did.
We sure did.
All right.
We got Joe winning a copy of the document library for helping.
You sure it's not Job?
I'm pretty sure it's not Job.
Okay.
I think it's Joe. We got Media Nova winning a copy of reviews for promoting concrete5.
Nice.
And we got Growth Curve winning a copy of the document library for doing work.
Great. Thank you. If you don't know, Karma is our kind of community point system. So if you are working on the core, or if you simply refer people to concrete5, there's a referral link that you can get to underneath your My Account area. So promoting the project, doing work, and helping people in the forums. They can mark your thread as an official answer, or the whole thread is helpful. All these things add to your Karma points, and every week we run the magic Karma machine and dole out some free marketplace licenses. If you're a developer and you'd like to get your add-ons in the hands of more savvy developers in the community, folks that are experts with concrete5 and active and can go evangelize your work, you should consider letting us know, and we can put some licenses for your software in our Karma machine. We've done a few developers in the past, and always nice to get that in front of a few people who might use it on some projects and then see the value in purchasing it for a client later.
That's right.
So
put the free one in there and get the.
Well, no, we're not going to give away a free one. That's kind of lackluster prize. But yeah, love to have some of your stuff to give away too. Although we're happy to continue to give away our licenses. That's Karma. How about we check in? What? No. Oh, you have pictures.
I have a pic.
Okay, I thought you didn't have any. Let's look. Aha!
We got a concrete5 sticker and a car. This is from John PDX.
Nice. So a Nissan Pathfinder. I'm going to say that's a 95. Something like that. I used to have a 93 Pathfinder. It's blue, but it's a good car. It's a nice looking car and a good looking sticker on it. Durable.
Good looking sticker.
Tough ride. Cool. Yeah. Thank you. If you like stickers, and if you don't, what's wrong with you? But if you would like some concrete5 stickers for free, we'd be happy to send them to you. Simply go to our swag page in the marketplace, scroll down to the bottom, and put your full mailing address into the form that Matt is about to show you. This is a mailing address. This is what we're going to put into our label maker, print it out, and stick it on an actual envelope with stamps filled with stickers that will come right to your door. Or your post office box, if that's what you prefer. Please do not put your email, your name, your dog's name, whatever. It's got to be a mailing address. That's how we send things in the mail. So you can see Matt has formatted his mailing address quite nicely. He's got a zip code and a country, city-states. I don't know why he's in Memphis, Ohio, but, you know, I'm from Ohio.
It's a small city down there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a Memphis somewhere in Southern Ohio. They've got one of everything in Southern Ohio. Cool, yeah, so stickers coming right at you. I don't care where you live, we'll send them to Siberia. Now, I think we're ready to learn what choices Greg Joyce has been making. Let's check in.
Introducing Great Choice by Greg Joyce.
All right, that's good.
Hi, Greg Joyce. What kind of choice are we looking at?
I don't know, I'm saying I might get into the moonshining business.
What was that again, son?
Moonshining.
Moonshining?
Well, that is a choice.
We're hooching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get a still first. It's just gonna make beer with that.
I got a little buddy for you. Yeah. No, we get some hooch, some C5 hooch going.
Okay.
A little late in the summer for it, but whatever. Yeah. I think it's a great choice. What other great choices have you made this week, Greg?
Well, we got some kind of, peer review board add-ons and themes related stuff. We only have 3 items this week, so it's gonna be a quick one.
All right.
Here we go. First up, we have Cube testimonials by Cube websites, and this adds a testimonial onto your page. It has like a dashboard interface to it. Honestly, it's kind of an odd block in my opinion. But what's interesting about it is it's free, and it's well put together within the C5 framework. So if you're interested in learning how to develop something, this is a good one to download and
Nice.
check out.
It's good to know.
Nice.
It's good to know.
Next up, we have from 5Jazz, the Quiz Epic add-on. This one was in the PRB for 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
And got it together, and it's out.
Odyssey.
Yeah, if you download this one, it actually doesn't say correct answer in the thing. It's correct.
That's not like a
Did fix
Corinthian kind of Latin kind of.
A rich Corinthian answer.
No? Oh. That was kind of disappointing.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's a quiz.
I think he
Yeah.
gives some point values to those questions. That's an interesting thing.
That's something.
And next up, we have the Arches theme from Brian Lewis. And this is a configurable, responsive theme. Kind of makes me think of restaurants for some reason.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the texture on there. It's pleasant. Little sushi joint. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's nice.
that's really all we have this week.
Yeah, light week. Must be the riding the end of the August hives summer.
I imagine there's a vigorous back and forth in the PRB over the things that are still happening.
There's some stuff riding in there still. Yeah.
Inner tubes,
Yeah,
barbecues,
sun tanning.
sun tanning, summer. Well, there you go. Thanks, Greg Joyce. Those are some great choices. Please no drinking the hooch before 3, and good stuff. Right on. Where are we at? What are we doing now? Do we have anything about Git? Did you get anything in Git?
I did.
Let's
I got
get some Git.
in Git.
Let's find.
What did we get in Git?
That is easily my favorite intro bit.
It's solid. It's very
What'd you
solid.
get?
I got a pull request from. We have an internal debate on how to pronounce this username in an efficient fashion.
Maybe we can clear it up right now.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be able to in the flesh, but MKLY.
Ah, yes.
We say Minkley,
Say Minkley.
but there's no N in there, so I can understand why that might not be the preferred.
I don't care if I just say Minkley.
I know. I think it sounds better.
I just pick
There's
the
other
direction,
options.
forged ahead.
I'm not too keen on some of the other options, so that's what we're gonna. That's how we're gonna continue to do it until we hear otherwise.
Well, we'll see. He's en
yeah.
route to come
Yes.
to come play with us.
Yeah, so we're gonna hear.
probably correct us
Flash,
in some,
yeah.
some capacity.
But if it's more than if it's more than 2 syllables, it's not
I'm
happening.
just gonna call it sandwich.
listen, Hoagie.
I like a sandwich. No, looking forward to seeing you.
Yes.
Get on there.
He submitted a pull request, which was approved to fix a bug in 5601. So this is not released yet. It's pending. It's an outlier bug. It's not really something you would encounter unless your add-on used something in kind of a different way than we normally do it. This is an autoloader bug. Basically, there's a class that gets called at certain points by some third-party code, and usually it gets loaded by concrete5 before it gets called, but in this case it was not, so he added it to our autoloading script. And if you look in GitHub, it is one of the more recent commits. So that'll make its way out there. At some point, there's a closed bug report in the 5601 repository if you want to see exactly where it got linked to. But you know, it's very, very simple, but it's nice to have people out there solving those problems for us. Because it's the kind of bug where, you know, at a glance, you could fall down a rabbit hole trying to figure out exactly what was going on, when in reality it was very simple. So,
Thanks.
yeah, so thank you.
K-L-Y.
Minkley.
Minkley.
Mike.
Mike. Thanks.
Mike.
You. That's great.
Yes.
Where are we now? I think we're ready for how do we do that, or am I skipping something? I didn't make any notes today. We're playing it.
I think we're
Loose.
skipping it.
Fast and loose.
How would we do that?
One from the head cam, but I have to give it to Matt.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I'll fire that over to Matt while we. Are there any questions?
Let's check the chat.
Checking the chat.
I see some typical chat happening.
All right.
Topics and questions. And wait, questions? Nope.
Did I just see like a "you're stupid" comment go by?
The finest of comments.
It definitely is a chat.
Looking. Oh, hey, here's one. This one comes from Dojo Design.
Like Dojo.
How to, or will C5 consider having a feature allowing users to select a bunch of pages in the sitemap and batch changing their page types?
We have that. It's
do
in the
that?
page search.
In the dashboard.
In the dashboard.
As an admin.
Which is a subsection of or a lateral section to the sitemap.
Yeah,
So
there
if you go
are
in
three
the
versions
sitemap,
of your sitemap.
yes,
There's the drag and drop JavaScript one that you know and love.
yes,
There's the one level version of that is
Yeah.
sans JavaScript for your,
Which
oh my
gives
god,
you-
I've got a
yeah.
million pages
Gives
to
you
one
paging,
node.
basically.
Yeah, paging. And then there's search.
Yeah.
And search lets you spend some time in search. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's just it's a flat list, but you can jump into search from the sitemap. So if you have a section of your site with hundreds of pages underneath it, you could click in the sitemap on that node and say search these pages, and it will take you over to the dashboard search and give you all those pages, which have checkboxes next to them and convenient bulk actions.
Yes. You can do crazy
Yeah.
filters on it. So
And in 5.6, you can even do advanced. You can set advanced permissions in bulk
which
on
you,
those.
can't, which you are
crazy
going to
ways.
need if
Yeah.
you have a complicated site
Yeah.
and you're playing with advanced permissions, because there's a lot of clicking in advanced permission.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's kind of a strat, wasn't it? That's how we would do that.
That
could
is,
definitely-
we already did that,
Done
and that
it.
was how.
Yeah.
How would we done?
Did that. That should be a new thing.
That's like a.
Did that.
Oh, okay. That's just me.
All right. What else you got?
A question from Jan's Carton. They say, I have a group that I want to be able to set view permissions for pages, but I don't want them to control any other permissions. Is there a way to do that?
When you say view permissions, like you want the group to be able to see the page? Or something
See
else?
the permissions.
Yeah, I think they need the group to be able to set page view permissions for.
Oh, set. Yeah.
So they want to... Maybe, what are you trying to actually do? Or
Maybe,
in
like-
other words, why?
Like maybe like kind of be able to turn a page on and off, basically, but not be able to change who can edit it. Essentially. Man, we don't really have a good answer for that.
Two options, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
We've got
we-
answers.
Okay, they say, I want that
not a
group.
box answer.
I want that group to be able to control who can view a page, but not who can edit it.
So like advanced permission, like selective advanced permissions in the controlling.
And they're just going to do this at the page level by using the toolbar?
That's probably ideally what they want.
I mean, maybe, but I'm just wondering if it doesn't kind of imply that, like,
There's some other interface.
these are simple
like-
users and they should have a simple interface that just kind of does this for them. Not that, users simple.
No, I
It can mean
understand.
anything about
Yeah.
simple folks. But I don't know, one way we might look at solving that type of thing is saying, well, what else is it that they're trying to do? And maybe there should be like a single page under their My Account area that lets them kind of choose who can do what on whatever.
Yeah.
Or, here's a simple interface to add some stuff to the page, and you don't even have to worry about any context editing.
Yeah, and it sets the permissions behind the scenes just with by actually
Yeah, and you can
scripting.
kind of trap it at that layer. Say, all right, we'll give you the permissions that you need to actually change permissions, but we're gonna keep you from doing that through the editing toolbar.
Yeah.
By just doing it in a single page.
That would be the easiest way to do this. I mean, you would build some kind of custom interface that behind the scenes set these permissions so that you wouldn't have to give access to the toolbar, but then somehow limit what they can do inside
Yeah.
the permissions lab.
So that'd be the one way to do it. I like that way because you keep them out of the toolbar, and so you're not training them on stuff that they may not need at all, and a thing that wasn't really designed to do what it is they do need to do. Alternatively, maybe you don't even need to use permissions. Maybe this could be something that you manage with attributes, and like what does access to the page really mean?
Yeah.
You just hide it from a nav.
Yeah.
If that's what you're trying to do, if you're trying to make it so like, well, at the category level, I've got these pages and they show up or they don't, depending on who you are, and I want to let someone else manage that. Well, maybe you just make a custom attribute and manage that nav, included or excluded type deal. Flush that out, whatever. But you can tie permissions to attributes.
Yeah. So you
could
could
do
say
that.
you could control who could set that attribute.
Yeah. So if you can figure out a way to manage that through an attribute, you could tie permission to just changing that attribute, and then give your people that. So those are two, not quite as good as the bulk search answer.
No, that one
But
was a slam dunk.
that was a slam dunk. But there are two ways to approach a problem. Does that help?
Perhaps. There's a
Matt
couple follow-up questions from Jans Carton.
How's it going?
They'd also like to know, can you schedule guest access for an entire page or only for areas and blocks within a page?
Only for blocks within a page. It is a permission that you can set at the page so that it filters down, but it's not something that we have at the page level. Although that is an interesting.
Well, let's clarify that. The schedule guest access is basically an extra button on the menu.
Yes.
That gets you into changing a permission
Just for
for a block.
unregistered
blocker.
users, yes.
For unregistered
Just for a block.
But you could still do that with a permission. You just don't have the button to do so.
Yes.
You can still set a permission for a scheduled access
Yes.
at the page
Yes.
level with the view. There's just no shiny button for guests.
Yeah, and also it's a separate permission, so you can give the ability to set guest access permission to a different set of users than ones who get the full permissions access, which is one reason why it became a separate permission. But it can't, and it doesn't. The functionality is available at the page level by using the full base permissions, but it's not the more limited guest access dialog.
All right. Hopefully that answers the question for them. We got one from Lego Man UK. Should we expect any trouble with add-ons whilst upgrading to 5.601?
Whilst upgrading, right?
Yes. Any trouble upgrading with when you got add-ons installed?
British upgrade question.
Probably not. You probably don't need to expect it, and certainly not to the degree of 5.5. But due to some of the ways that the underlying framework has changed, sometimes problems in the add-ons might become apparent. So, for example, I'm debugging something that's been reported twice in our bug tracker about loading a file that doesn't exist, and I'm looking through the core, and it doesn't appear the statement that would cause that to fail doesn't appear to be in the core. So it's got to be in an add-on somewhere, and I think 5.6 is just more strict about. That code used to be in there and would just fail silently, and now it fails it fails louder.
Right.
So you might notice things of that nature, but certainly it shouldn't be the sort of wholesale interface.
The other thing is
cacophony that was
yeah,
5.5.
he asked about the 5.4 to 5.5. No, the whole interface changed from 5.4 to 5.5. if the add-on is relying on advanced permissions, that's something to be thoughtful of.
Yes.
So if the add-on's making pages for you and moving around and all that kind of thing, you might want to test first.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Generally, things should behave or die in a very graceful way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Let's see. I got one from Rexford Kelly. This sounds like an e-commerce question. They ask, I'm wondering if there will be a more robust coupon system sometime in the future.
Sounds like a great add-on. Right?
Yeah.
E-commerce is built with the intention that people would make add-ons for it. It's quite extendable.
Yeah, the whole discount system is pretty pluggable.
All you third-party developers should have your ears peaked right now. Ooh, coupon system. We're not going to build that, but someone should.
A question from Dojo Design. Is there a protocol to highlight users' add-ons that offer no support? We have submitted support requests with some taking weeks to answer, if at all. Should these users be allowed to sell add-ons?
The big picture, no. There is, in fact, on the bottom of the page for any add-on,
Average response
time. So if you see that as really long and
way too long.
I think is the actual longest label. That should certainly spark, thought. If we see a lot of support requests that are not going answered, and if there's a form in the support area where you can request a refund, and Julia's right on top of those things, and if that happens a lot, then those things get pulled. And it certainly has happened in the past, and I'm sure will happen in the future. Most of these
not going to make a marketplace search for it, but
no, find me the crack. I think generally there's not a tremendous amount of that, but and it is important to kind of keep in mind that I think by the vast majority you're looking at one-man web shops that are also doing services work, and perhaps someone's on a boat somewhere, perhaps they're sick somewhere or whatever. So it's not uncommon for there to be some back and forth, and for us to get involved when we hear about something like this, and for someone to say, "Oh, hey, I was out of town, but I'm on top of it now." So I would encourage you to use the support stuff, to go ahead and complain with the refund form, and Julia will do what we can to organically keep the marketplace as happy and as safe as it is.
All right, got one from Spacer Ribs. All right, Space Ribs. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too badly. Question about layouts. Is there any work being done to embrace responsive grid layouts or custom layout templates?
We are going to be rethinking layouts in the next major release of Concrete 5. There's no exact list of things for it to support, but it would be nice to have something of that nature supported rather than very kind of inflexible system that's considered today.
Yeah, I think that I hear responsive in grid systems and stuff. We're not going to do that. Like that's up to your theme. If you want to have a theme that's all tables and chunk, that's cool. It's not cool. It's just strong word for it. But the theme dictates how Concrete 5 works. So if it's a larger question about like layout as a whole, hey, that's up to you as a theme developer to make your themes however you like them. If we're talking about the layouts feature within Concrete 5, then that it is cool, but it was definitely designed as hey, you may occasionally want to use this for a quick little bit inside of a bit. This is is really our answer for how do I put a block inside of a block, because people kept thinking, oh, I'd really like to add a survey block inside of a content block. And for development, and obvious, I think, kind of recursive reasons, that's absolutely not going to happen. And so layouts was a good way to kind of solve that problem of like, look, I want to get out of the blocky structure and have something kind of here. But I know we would rather have a hierarchy to it. Underneath the hood. It's a little punky that like once you start making layouts, you kind of have to have this extra layout area to have the sort ordering thing. So there's some things that just don't feel all that intuitive or simple to us. And so we'll kind of, when we get a chance, probably rethink some of that to be just a little bit simpler. And as doing so, we'll probably push the code that layouts make to be responsive and happy GIF-based stuff. But yeah, you should not be. Occasionally I see people who are new to Concrete5 looking at that layouts feature as if it were like how we are suggesting you actually design a page. And it's absolutely not. It's supposed to be a little Easter egg of handiness for someone who cannot edit a page type, and the developer's gone, and I just want to put this form right next to my thing, and hey, great, I was able to do it without your help. Thank you very much. That was all we meant it to be. What else you got?
Let me find this real quick here. Barco57 asks, are we considering adding a report spam button in the forum that sends a spam report directly to the moderator?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're doing it at some point. We got Minkris and Lucas and someone else who escapes me. Help me. Julia! A couple of people have been able to mark folks as spammers for quite some time. But those folks are all in the kind of Midwestern East Coast time zone. And they can't actually delete messages either. I think all they can do is mark an account, flag his account as a spammer. Give them that troll badge.
Yeah. But the posts stick around.
Posts stick around. So we've, just this week, we added a couple more people to that group. You have to ask Julia who those are. But now I think we're spanning a few more time zones. So hopefully people can kind of jump on that. Hey, you're not posting such great stuff. And we do have, like,
it's so great.
Yeah, some really weird. If you are watching, spammers, I'd love to meet you. I'm so confused. I just don't understand. I'm genuinely confused. Why? What? I mean, just what? There's no links in them.
Yeah.
It's just like these weird messages about about nothing. And does it really help? I just can't understand how any kind of money comes out of that. We're not gonna click on your shit, dude. It's a pretty savvy audience, man. No one wants knockoff Uggs here. It's not gonna happen. So, maybe we can talk about helping in some other way and get you on the karma plan.
Maybe it's the
we need promotion.
Not even for us, but the more messages in Google that link back to these crap sites if they actually have links.
I mean, there's no links. It's just, it looks like so much creative energy going into like
getting around the spam.
I'm gonna make an account and refer myself, and then I'm gonna PM. Like, dude, just, okay, but we're just gonna make it harder. So yeah, we continue to make it harder. It's an arms race. I feel like we got pretty much on top of the private messages side of it, which was the annoying part. So now we just have to keep the job board clean. And thanks, spammers. That's something.
Got a question from Rexford Kelly. They're looking for some sort of simple web-based IDE-style editor for Concrete5 for navigating template files, blocks, etc. to build in a more Dreamweaver-like style. I don't know of anything like that.
There are web-based IDEs. There's none that we integrate with. I mean, there's none that we integrate with in Concrete5, but there are file editors, in cPanel and things like that.
I wouldn't use that.
I know. Believe me, I don't understand why someone would want it. I mean, you can edit your CSS directly in WordPress. We don't really do that because we think you should.
Yeah, you can throw CSS at the end in our VMS editor thing. You can throw your own CSS into that thing, basically what WordPress is doing.
Well, they let you edit all files.
Yeah, they give you that content as well. We have no plans on doing that. I guess I can see why people might want that. Like a really budget host or something.
Yeah, a full solution to edit the template files without giving out FTP access.
I mean, it just seems like a tremendous opportunity for paying. How do we work? We all work locally. Generally, folks who are running MAMP or we're running MAMP. We had one too running WAMP for about an hour and a half this week. But you set up a local web server on your box, and then you can work on it with whatever your favorite application type IDE is. And I don't think anyone's using Dreamweaver in here. But we got some BB Edit. We got some. I think Ryan likes Eclipse still.
You can use Coda, which mixed results with. But it also has it does do remote editing, so that you could use that edit locally without even without having to worry that you're actually editing stuff on a server. It keeps your stuff in sync. And that, I think, is a saner approach than editing.
Well, and to go back to the WordPress example, if we were to do that, the only way I can imagine doing that is as part of like a hosted, concrete5 with ads on the bottom.
Yeah.
You can't touch the source, but knock yourself out with the style sheet. Because how much damage are you really going to cause with the style sheet?
Yeah.
You're going to break your site. It's going to make it look ugly. So,
yeah.
hey, go ahead and edit these PHP
editing
files
the
in
dashboard
PHP
files while you're in the dashboard.
You get a lot of support requests on that one.
Yeah.
So, not for us.
I'm sure someone in the chat.
I'm
has
sure
an
there's
idea,
I'm sure
but
there's all sorts of ways to do that.
All right, Beakerone looks like he's having some trouble releasing an add-on license that he assigned to a project that he's a contributor on. So how would he go about releasing that license from the project?
If you have a project page, and well, take a step back. There are project pages on concrete5 that work. When you have your site over here in front of Andy's face, concrete5.org is here, and then you say, I want to connect to the community, and we go, oh, this is the little page for you. There's no way for us to push stuff this way. There's only ways for you to pull things this
I'm
way.
a project page. I'm a project.
And you can join multiple people to your project page. So I could go get Matt and put him here and Greg and whatnot. We could all add licenses to this project page. You then connect. Woo! Give me the project stuff. You pull the licenses down. It goes on the site, and it's very happy. So that works very nicely. We often hear, hey, I found more than one found location on my project page. How do I get rid of those found locations? Doesn't matter, and you can't. It's just every time one of these, if the same database is running on these sites, then it's going to connect to the same project page, so they all just show up. What I'm wondering,
Sounds like
he's contributor, probably not the project manager.
Yeah, so he
anymore.
can't release
You can't
it.
release it.
Yeah,
You
that's
gave that
unfortunate.
license to your client, so you need
You
to
could ask
ask
them.
whoever is the project owner on the project page or something like that. I think you need to ask them to either make you the owner. Which they can do. I think that's exactly what you need to do, because I believe, what do we do when we release a license? Go back to the original.
It goes back to the
purchaser,
original
or does
purchase.
it go back to the project owner?
I think it goes back to the
We
original.
believe
purchase.
you could have them just release that license
I think,
and it would
yeah.
go back to you. Hopefully that makes sense.
Cool. Lego Man UK asks, the marketplace has a 5.5 ready filter on it. Will there be a 5.6 ready filter? Because he doesn't want to install anything if it doesn't work with 5.6.
I don't think so.
No.
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 I think that by and large, things that work for 5.5 should work with 5.6. It's going to be a rare exception where it doesn't. And we would always encourage you to make a backup and but even take a backup and go upgrade that and double check everything is happy. I mean, that's how you should do things. So no, we're not expecting, nor have we seen. 5.6 has been out for a while and in beta for a very long time with a lot of clarity to it. So we're not hearing about any dramatic issues with add-ons.
Yeah, there may be cosmetic ones. Nothing to the degree of chaos that 5.5
Now the scale
causes, so.
change that 5.5 was.
Okay, got an update for that license question. So I guess the owner is not responding. The project owner for that project page is not responding. So in that case,
You're out of luck on that.
Well, is the add-on being used by the site? It's
Yeah, this
sort
works,
of
right?
the nature of the beast that
Yeah.
we're watching.
Okay, one more question from Space Ribs. Are we eventually going to have a codex-like full documentation for development?
What's Codex,
What's Codex?
like?
I think he's talking about the WordPress codex. Maybe,
Oh, like
right?
the wiki? Yeah, I think that. Yeah, if that's what you're referring to. Not a wiki.
No.
That thing is rough, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not rough if you're actually on a very granular subject. But if you actually try and read it through, like documentation, it's like crazy.
It's a little
Yeah.
scatterbrained. Yes, I would be the first to admit that more documentation would be nice, and more thorough job.
I mean, I guess
Dirt.
no. I want to like for
Uh-oh.
what exact thing actually?
Yeah.
Just because you put so
We
put
don't
so
know.
much
Yeah.
work into the editor's guide, which
Yeah,
is
we did.
like
Yeah, that was nice.
a pretty large amount of detail for an editor and a site owner, and then there are topics, and we are going to update the developer docs to be less. To include fewer API examples, and then flush out the API docs to include more API examples and better docs at the API level, and then turn those developer docs into more of a like guided.
Yeah, no, we definitely have discussions around the office about how we can make documentation better. So at a high level, hear us when we say we would love for it to be easier for you to learn concrete5. In fact, we're doing a video show about how we build things right now. But we do often come up, well, you know, what can we do to make the docs better? And the takeaway that we come to is a couple of different things, I guess. The API itself, the api.concrete5.org.
Yeah,
still works probably.
concrete5.org/API.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've updated it for 5.6. It looks a lot different now.
Yeah.
Search it, correct.
In the past, that has been less than amazing, just from an organizational standpoint, and we're just sitting
Still
out
need
of
to be.
what app?
Still needs
Is that
more.
PHP doc or something?
Yeah, it's different now, but it was PHP Documenter. We're still looking at finding the ideal solution.
So-
it's currently not skinned very well.
So it wasn't a great skin. There's no way to add comments, which I think is a real problem. And our own. Well, as I remember when we were discussing the way that documentation generator organized things in this horrible frame set made no sense.
Yeah.
So we were going to add some meta tags to the core code itself in the core that would kind of reorganize stuff in a way that would make a little bit more sense from the very bottom at the API level. The other thing that we wanted to do is figure out some way that we could add commenting where we wouldn't lose it every time we made a new version.
Yeah.
So our big concern is, look, we can generate the API code now. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a feasible solution for me to say, look, you know, we got to have you. Let's put more inline comments. You know, let's bring in some new developers and just put as many
make
code
sure
comments
all
as you
the
can.
Methods are
Okay,
documented
it sounds like
properly.
money and time could make that happen. The problem with that then is, well, look, if we're generating this API automatically, I don't want to lose any kind of community feedback that happens. So we've been struggling with, well, where's there a tool that we could integrate with that would let us automatically generate the API, so when we release 5.6.01, it's updated, but we don't lose the. I remember when I was first on PHP version 3, going to PHP.net and just seeing the comments at the bottom.
Yeah, very helpful.
That's super. There's everything I need. Like I don't even need to
Still
read
very
the function
helpful,
definition. So we want to be able to do that at the API level. And I think that's just a matter of figuring it out and getting it done. So there's that. I think on the flip side, there's also we believe, and it'd be great if you guys chirp in and tell us we're wrong or we're right. There's something kind of missing at the mid scale. I think there's a fair amount of information out there at this point of like, well, why is Concrete5 compelling, or look at how easy it is to use, or why would your business want to, you know, if you're actually interested in reading, if you wander through our tour pages, the million-foot view is pretty well covered.
Yeah.
But that kind of middle range of like, how do I approach a problem in Concrete5, or some of that is like kind of difficult to wrap your mind around. So I'm thinking that, or we're thinking that we would try to come back at some of that in the documentation section on our site, and then push more of what's in our docs area into the API.
Yeah. Right now, the developer docs, you know, they sort of straddle a line between why you should care about a particular concept and some of the key functions in that concept in sort of the code igniter documentation fashion. But you know, better. You know, since those change so much, it's easier to keep them up to date if you just link over to the API in the relevant section, and then keep those keep that documentation more at a summary level. I guess.
So Matt over there has been doing an awful lot of training recently, taking the reins from Andy on training folks. And I'll plug at this awesome opportunity. If you would like to get some Concrete5 training at a dramatic discount, there's a blog post on our site that lets you get training at a very affordable rate right now.
Nice.
You sign up for those classes. They're awesome. Matt's going to fire it up. Here we go. And I think the next one's on September 11th or something. And
Advanced theme development.
here we go. Shabao. Discount training, learning stuff with Matt. And we got that basic block and advanced block development. Boy, you better start studying, buddy. So he's working on all this and kind of taking the reins over from Andy, or recording all these screencasts as we go and trying to make notes out of it. And so I'm hoping that this kind of mid-level of documentation that I'm talking about, this, not so much how does the boat work, but just where are we sailing?
Yeah.
That might come out of that process. I can see just kind of writing up how training works and basically having a whole new take at kind of mid-level developer docs.
Yeah. Common problems.
Common problems and approaches. So there's that. How does that sound, guys? And gals? Anyone care what I'm talking about at this point? We're done? No?
No one cares.
No one cares.
No, that's not true.
What do you think, Matt? Pretty dubious.
I think they care. They care. They might not know it, but they care.
They don't know it yet.
Thanks,
You're gonna
man.
make them care. That's what we think. If we're wrong, feel free to tell us.
So we got a question from Lego Man UK. He says concrete5 is awesome.
Thanks. We're done. Oh.
What is the next thing you're working on?
A food cart. An awesome food cart.
There's not enough coffee shops important. So we might start a coffee house.
I heard that something I was watching. There are more breweries in Portland than any other city in the world. Period. Not per capita.
Yeah, I actually have heard that because I took a tour actually, and someone's like, "Have you heard that there's more breweries in Portland per capita than anywhere else?" And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "That statistic is false." We're like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "There's more breweries, period." Yeah.
No per capita.
And I absolutely believe that. You cannot throw a stone.
So that's what we're doing next. No, what are we doing next? We are doing some big work right now, some big projects, and that's pretty cool. We are planning on releasing 5.7 around the new year.
Yeah.
And 5.7 is going to have a lot of love thrown back towards kind of DIY small site initiatives.
Yeah.
Keeps whatever. First half of this year, we've been doing a lot of kind of enterprise type stuff, hunting and feature building.
Yeah.
And you can see it in 5.6. Obviously, if you watch the advanced permissions video and you check out the stuff that we've done with workflow, it's completely insane. There's no
Much
reason
different.
that anyone that isn't making $1 billion a year should care about any of that. To be perfectly
It's
frank,
reasonable,
you don't need multi-step workflow unless you've got an awful lot of departments. So that's where our heads have been kind of for the first half of this year, and that's been very nice and refreshing. We firmly believe concrete5 is a building material that anyone should use on anything, just like a screwdriver. It's not for only skyscraper screws or only home screws, it's just for screws. And so what we have to do, and we've always done, is kind of bounce back and forth between the needs of all the different folks that are using it. So what we're looking at next is flushing out the community features of concrete5. This is exciting news, right? I haven't really shared too much of this. So Concrete CMS, which existed since 2003, when Andy and I were churning away in the basement, most of what we were doing was building social networks. So before everyone was on Facebook, it was like, before Friendster, it was like 6 degrees. And but everyone knew that was going to happen, and so we had a lot of clients that were startups that were like, we want to build a indie music network. We want to build a big network of like school information or whatever. Everyone's trying to build their own Facebook. And that's actually a lot of the first projects that we had with Concrete CMS were very much that, building custom communities with Concrete as if it were a framework. It really wasn't, didn't do much of anything out of the box. Then we went open source in 2008, and as I think happens with a lot of open source stuff when it first launches, because it's free, a lot of folks without much of a budget are looking at it, and they're solving much smaller problems.
Yeah.
So a lot of our energy went into like, we should really tighten this up a little. Or
We should add customizable CSS.
Customizable CSS and be able to override themes and stuff. Big clients don't want that; they don't need that. But the little guys do. So what we're looking at doing now is flushing out those community features that, to a great extent, kind of exist already under the hood, but they don't really do anything.
Yeah, they're not presented in a very attractive.
They're not very attractive at all. So you're going to see a very fancy-looking members page that is more extendable than what you have now. Your profile being nice and sexy, and we're going to build in some type of compelling news feed wall type thing. So when you set up a Concrete5 site, it feels like something new. Like, hey, this isn't a blog, this isn't a Tumblr. this isn't just a corporate website. This is a thing that is new and interesting, and maybe I want to share it with my friends. So we're going to do that, and that's kind of the tip of the iceberg. And I'm not going to show you screenshots of it, but we are thinking about it. It is going to be super cool.
We're always looking at ways to make the edit interface.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot. We've already talked about layouts are going to get rethought a little bit. And I think someone this morning pointed out that we're still using one of the old blue icons on the inline. It's we'll do a lot of
interface tightening.
Cleaning. But mostly 5.7 is about running a small community on your own and making concrete5 something that anyone could like. Taking another step towards keeping it simple for anyone to install. Be like, wow, this is all I need. How do I? This is great, and we really think strategically that's the right way to do it, because unlike what all the venture capitalists will tell you, sorry VCs, you don't have to be married to one vertical. And in our industry, at least, we see an awful lot of people find a tool that they like for one small problem and then repurpose that solution into a much larger thing. I think an amazing story about it is like Basecamp, right? Everyone set up a copy of Basecamp. Great, I can do a sortable list. That's great, I love it. This is sweet, man. It's like a web page, I can sort it. And a year later, every poor group of people like us has to log into some Basecamp to try to get a file out, and it's just really not much. And when it comes to managing a big project, it's just, good work, 37 Signals and all. You guys are cool, but wow, it's amazing that you can take something that was geared to solve a very small problem, and then kind of use the creativity of your audience to solve much larger problems. And so we see that all the time. In a newsletter that we just sent out last week, we can happily announce that HP is using concrete5. That's good stuff.
That's good stuff.
They're using concrete5 on their Open Web OS site, and we actually know someone who used to work here as an active member of the community and then went off to work at Palm, and so we heard that Palm HP was using concrete5, and we assumed, that's got to be our buddy.
Yeah.
And no, it turns out this project manager had literally built a concrete5 site for his wife's business.
And that happens.
All the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, how'd you put? Well, I needed a CMS for my wife's, I forget what it was, but it was a small business, and concrete5 was awesome, so I was like, maybe I could use this at work, Yes.
So we like to have features in that vein that appeal to both those sides, and so then you discover them gradually.
Yes.
So it's like
organic
you
discovery
learn.
of potential.
You get attracted to it for one reason, and then you realize, hey, this actually
What else
this
could
is
I do
actually
with
quite
this?
powerful.
Right.
I bet I could do more than I thought.
How are we going to predict all the ways that people can be creative? It's amazing what folks will come up with. You give them a hammer and a screwdriver, and God knows what they're going to do with that, right? So you just make the screwdriver solid, and good luck. So that's where we're going next. Is back to the community, and then after that, we'll go worry about whatever chaos we've caused with the enterprise stuff. Anything else?
Yeah, just one more from Lego Man UK. Were we not talking about some type of world tour?
World tour.
You guys coming to Europe anytime soon?
Love to. Yeah. Yes. Indeed. Yes, I think the way that that's likely to happen is with reaping the reward of all the work that we've done this year. So I can also tell you that we're going to be launching a separate enterprise site before too long here that will complement the yellow community site that you know and love so well and are active members on. The services tab in that community site is going to get kind of, rethought a bit and forward over to a much more drab, blue, swooshy enterprise site that says everything that big companies like to hear in the corpo jibber jabber that they love to hear it.
Grown accustomed.
There will be synergy. We will be leveraging things. There will be cost benefit analysis.
Oh, wow.
I'm not messing around. We're going to have
analyze
stuff like that. Case studies. No, but that's where we're gonna plug some of this kind of beefier stuff that we're making, and we're gonna be looking for folks who can help us around the world on those large projects, because we're talking about $1 million website gigs, and we have a nice little shop of a dozen people here, and kind of like to keep it that way. So I think there's going to be a tremendous opportunity for shops that are capable of pulling off big gigs and are using other software. We want to be working with them to make sure they're using concrete5, and I think it's such an easier experience for the folks that have to edit the website. And we look at these huge organizations, and it's so difficult for them to still get anything on the web. I mean, it's like we're living in this age of typesetting where you have to pay this expert to do the smallest change for you. That's not what the web was designed to be, and most enterprise level CMSs today still kind of do that. They still make it so you're going to need a developer, and you're going to be scared to change anything. And as you all know, concrete5 doesn't. So we really hope that larger enterprises will continue to engage with it, and like JCPenney's did. We can say JCPenney uses concrete5 too. So we're going to be doing that, focusing on that a little bit here, and I think that may create the opportunity and thus capital to get me and Andy traveling around. So if you are a web shop that is doing some big work and wants to think about partnering with us in that way and getting some serious training from the heavy lifters here and helping us sell enterprise workflow, you should be private messaging me, especially if you're in Europe.
And I'm sure that the moment we have anything official to announce, we'll likely do so on a totally random.
No. You'll continue to hear about it.
I think that's it. That's all the questions we got today.
Sweet. Wow, we made it a whole hour.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That is.
Yeah, we've been doing light. I didn't think that was going to happen today. I thought we'd be out of here in
But
20
they'll be
minutes.
questions.
That's good questions. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, one more from Chad.
Oh, okay.
Wants to know how far off are we from having a C5 conference?
Well, like I said, I think that we got to have a little more bang for the buck out of the rather expensive travel and event type stuff. There's got to be some way that is at least revenue neutral for me. So that's what's holding up that. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Certainly something we want to do. Yep. All right. Well, I think we're going to be here next week, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We all come back one piece tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have a very exciting video to look forward to next week, by the way. If you've never seen a Totally Random before, next week's
Tell
Totally
your
Random.
friends.
Tell your friends. It's
Oh.
going to be exciting adventures this weekend.
Some of us may not survive.
Some of us may or may not be here. So,
Ooh.
bye.
Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time.